Okay. So though I'm using another laptop, so we may not see some of those things that we have done so far. So far we have been on the mastering HTML tags, where I told us that the essence of going through these aspects of the web programming is for us to be familiar with the building blocks we are going to end up using to build our real websites. And if I can remember, we have covered up to, if not up to 8 of them, starting from the heading tags, ranging from H1 to H6. And then we have also covered the paragraph tag for writing articles in our web pages. And then we have also covered image tag for adding images to our website. And then, of course, if I could remember, the last tag was, what was the last tag? Was it video tag?
Yes.
Our last tag, video tag. Okay,
You did not later do
video
you did
tag,
not later
right?
do audio tag.
Video tag and audio tag.
Yes.
That falls under
You
HTML
didn't do audio
media tag,
tag.
right? That falls under HTML media tag, which I said they are actually used for embedding media file in web pages. And then we'll also look at how we okay.
That the audio tag did not work, so you not do it.
Okay, your audio tag did not work. Is it your own or my own? Because I know I explained it with video tag. Did you try implementing it from your end? Hmm? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm asking, did you try implementing audio tag?
Yes.
You did
You did
not.
not you when I
You said? Okay, so
your own did not work.
your own did not work or mine. I wasn't having audio file in that laptop. All the files I have, they were video. And I said you should try and get any of the file
No.
in your laptop so that you can use it to practice. But I know I use it. The only thing is that instead of me supplying audio, I added video, which automatically converted it from MP4 to MP3. Okay, so all you need to do, okay, this is what we are going to do. It's like I've deleted all okay, thank God I still have some files here, but they are not audio. But what I'm trying to tell you is that that same way, yes, it's like your network is breaking. I don't know if it is from my end.
Me, I just
You said, hello?
audio.
We did not add audio. But can you hear me? Please use the message section. Let me know.
I said I downloaded it.
Okay, so you downloaded audio,
Yes.
but it did not work.
Yes.
So how were you adding it? How were you adding the audio? Okay, let me just to avoid taking much of our time. We started late. Let me just quickly run through it. Now, what I told us about the audio tag is that anybody who can add video tag should be able to add audio tag because it's the same thing. The only thing is that you are using two different tags. So if I want to embed audio file, let's say in this index file, I'll simply type audio. And then ordinarily, I am supposed to have populated my media folder with the audios that I want to embed in this particular page. But I don't have audio file. What I have is MP4. So all you need to do is to pass in the same URL of that video tag like this. But what will happen is that it will be recognized. Let me just add the control attributes, which will activate the control button. So if I go to the front end now, this is how I explained it to you that very day. So all you need to do is just to make sure that you have audio file here. You call it the same way I called the video. Ordinarily, if I have a video file, I'm not supposed to, audio file, I am not supposed to call in a video in that particular part. So let me see the outcome of it. So you can see, so it has converted it to what? An audio. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is exactly what I showed you that very day because I was not having audio file. So I use video file to explain it. So all you need is to add a compatible. So if you add audio file and it does not play, it means that maybe you check the formats, you check the converting format. So that is for that. But I just want to quickly talk about another tag called iframe. I don't know if I was able to cover iframe tag in that section. Did I?
No.
Okay, because I mentioned four media tags, HTML media tags, and we realized that we have already covered one of them, which is image tag. So we now focus on the video tag, the audio tag, and there are various attributes for manipulating them. So, but because of time, we could not touch the last one. So let me quickly take it before I dive into the topic actually, because I thought I've covered the iframe tag. So let me use comment to also explain. Let's quickly look at HTML iframe tag, HTML iframe tag, and I hope you are writing HTML iframe tag. So how do we define the HTML iframe tag? The HTML iframe tag is used to embed. The HTML iframe tag is used to embed another HTML document. It's used to embed another HTML document. Another HTML document. Let me see if I can be fast. I said it is used. I hope you are right. To embed another HTML. It's used to embed another HTML document. Another HTML document within a web page. Within a web page. So that is the primary function of the iframe tag. Now, but let me just expatiate beyond that definition. And in my explanation, I'm going to focus more on the scenarios where you can use it as a web programmer. So for example, the definition says that it is used to embed. The word embed means integrate, which means that, for example, we can have a different file, just like the way we have, let me just quickly create a file. Let me call it add.html. So we have some content which we must have designed here, which I'm going to come back to design. And then we are in index page. We want to display the contents you have in this particular page, but you don't want to go through writing the entire codes again. So in that case, you can clone, you can use the iframe tag to copy all the content you have in your ads.html file directly in the index.html file. So that is the meaning of that statement that says HTML iframe tag is used to embed another HTML document within a web page. But that is for internal embedding. Now, if we want to also embed external file, it is also possible with the iframe tag. Take, for instance, you have a YouTube page and you have a video you have uploaded there. You want the users to watch, you want to integrate, you want to embed the video which you have uploaded to your YouTube page in your website pages or in one of the website page so that the users can watch the video directly from your website. It is not like you are offering them a URL or a link that when they click on it from your website, then it drives them to your YouTube page. That is not the case. What we are saying is that they will have no contact, okay, with your YouTube page. But the video was uploaded to your YouTube. So you clone that video, you integrate the video using the iframe tag in that website. Did you understand the explanation before I proceed?
Not really.
Hello? Okay, you didn't get that
Not.
explanation. Okay,
Mm-mm.
but okay, don't worry, you will understand it by the time I practicalize it. Now, let's just continue with the practical aspect of it first. But I feel that I'm still defining. I said the HTML iframe tag is used to embed another HTML document within a web page. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to teach us how we can embed another file within the same HTML, within the same website in one of the HTML file. Then before we look at how to embed a external file, then I will use the YouTube that I was just talking about. So let me just focus on internal embedding first. Now, what I am going to do is to create a file just like I've done here. So I just created a different file, which is assumed to be a page within my website. And the idea is that this is where I want to develop my adverts. Okay, so I want the visitor, when they are in my homepage, there is an advert that will be iframe, that will be framed somewhere within this, that they can also be assessing or seeing while they are exploring the content in this particular page. But meanwhile, I want to design those advert content in a different file. So let me just take some time to develop our content, the content we want to iframe in another document. So as usual, let me just activate my HTML simple code syntax. So I'll simply say let's say, welcome to my ad page. Welcome to my ad page. And then I need to quickly download some images and add them to the image. So let's say that will represent the products images that I am advertising. So let's assume that it's about electronic. Let's say it's about electronic. So I'll just get some pictures about electronic. Now let's assume this is the products image. So I can just let me look for a creative one. I'll right click on it as usual. Save image as, then target the root folder, which is on desktop. So I go to desktop. The name of the project folder is web class. Web class, looking for web class. They go into the image and then let's say our product img1. Then I click. So let me add another one. So click on this and just change the 1 to 2. Okay, at least I have some pictures to work with. So let me go back to my development environment. So I'm in the add page and I want to add a div. Remember, I told us that the div is a grouping element. It's one of the HTML use tag, which is used to section or to group certain elements within your website. So the reason why I am using div is that all the products images, I am going to wrap them in the div. So in other words, the div is going to play the role of a container. So once I have declared it, since I have an intention of adding or using it as a container, I'll quickly press enter to expand it. Now, don't forget the classing method and the ID method as ways of uniquely identifying or differentiating your HTML elements from one another in terms of CSS styling. Now, I do advise my students to always use a descriptive name as their class name. Okay, so which means that you should use a name that actually describe the purpose, the function of the div. What exactly do you want to do with this div? Like I said, the div is going to play the role of a container. So I will class it as what kind of content do I intend to hold with the div? So I will say, okay, img, then underscore container. So anytime I say this div with this class name, I already know the function of that div. Now, I will simply call in the two images that I want to advertise. So, of course, you already know how to program images in your web page. So, this is the first one. In case I will want to talk to the image individually, so let me also class this one as img1. Then I quickly call the next image. Sorry. And then reference the URL as well, product2. Then also add a class in case I want to talk to it uniquely. So img2. Now, if I go back to the front end to check the output, let me just redisplay the page. So let's see. So these are the two images. Now, the reason why I wrap them in div, it is not actually compulsory that each time you want to publish a set of images in your web page, you wrap them in div. I choose because I am projecting at the point of defining the content I am projecting what I'm going to do in my CSS. So I needed a structure that will make it easy for me to float the images. You know, if I did not nest these two pictures in that div, if I want to move them to the center of the page, what I will have done is to, talk to each of them, push them to the center. But now that they are both in a container, you can see that it's going to be very easy for me, because once I push the container, all the items in it will equally what? Move. So this is just like you are planning your CSS activity. You are trying to make your CSS work easier for you by having a proper structure of your HTML document. So now the plan is that these two pictures, I want to give them the same size, and I want to position them at the center of the page. That is actually the plan. So what I will do, since I have placed them in one container, and I am going to use what we call CSS uh, combinators. CSS combinator. CSS combinator is just like where you reference a child element with its parent. Okay? So a practical example is just like my name is Prosper, but my surname is Egwero. So if you go to my village now and start calling Prosper, it will be difficult for anyone to know which Prosper you are actually talking about. But once you add my surname, Prosper Egwero, it will help the person to easily locate me. So that is the concept that we are bringing here. So what we have done is that the div is the parent. Why these two images are the direct what? Children or child of what? The div. So the plan is that I don't want to call these two pictures with their class name. I will simply use the parent name to reference them, such that even if I have another image outside that parent element, for example, let's say I call another image here, because if I say img, it will affect this image, it will affect this image, it will equally affect this image. But if I am using this class name, okay, to access them, it will not affect this image. So that is exactly what I am trying to picture here. So I will now go to my CSS file, my CSS folder using external CSS. So I'll quickly create a file under it, which is, let me just name it index.css. Then, because I am working with external, as we have learned before now, there is need for me to link them. So I have to go to the head section and then quickly type link, and then it will come with this
Yeah.
attribute. Okay.
Why do you keep on adding? Why do you keep on adding files? Can't you do all of them in one file?
Which of them? What is this CSS you
Like
are
you keep
referring
on
to,
creating
or
files.
HTML?
No, no. Like previously, because I don't know, you say you're using a new laptop. Previously, you've created service.html, you've created as.html, you've created different ones, created like four. So why do you keep on creating? Why can't you just do it in one?
No, 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 no. No, your
Because it's the
website
same thing.
there, your
This
website.
one,
Okay, let me allow you to land. You are still talking. Go ahead.
this thing only is just like adding images. It's not yours. It's you're doing it as art, but it's like images.
Are you talking about here, please?
This thing you do here now is
Hmm.
just adding images the way you add normal images.
Exactly. This one, right?
So, yeah, so why do you have to create a whole different file for it?
Which file are you referring to? Remember that I am working on add. We are going to iframe. Okay? We are going to iframe, but I needed content that we want to frame, because the definition of the iframe says that it is used to embed another HTML document. So which means that outside this current document, you have to create another one. And I'm trying to make it more practical. So let's assume that you are given a website contract and the client says that I would like you to create an ad that will be displayed together with the main page content. So that's the reason why we are forced to go and create another document so that I will teach you how I will embed all these things that I've designed here directly in what? The index file. Is that clear?
Okay.
Oh, are you with me? Hello?
Yes.
Is this clear now?
Yes.
Okay, so now we are only trying to prepare. I don't want to just activate the iframe and then I just want it to make sense. Okay, I'm trying to teach you as if we are handling a live project for someone. Now, we are still developing our ad. The ad we will integrate using the iframe in the index or the home page. So let's just conclude it. So now I have defined
Wait,
my.
but I don't think you understand what I asked.
Okay.
We've created like 4 different files.
Can you call their names?
We've created index.html.
That is the home
We've
page.
created
That is the home page. Yes. Call another one.
homepage as well.
The index.html is the first page. When somebody types www dot, is the very first page. And I told you that that first page, it is called home page. Is that clear?
Okay. We've
Okay.
also created about.html. We've also
That
created
is about. It's about
service.html.
here. There's no about here. Or are you referring to the one we did?
In my own, there is.
Yes, it doesn't
Yes, I'm
matter.
saying
We will
type
still
it.
come to that. We will still come to that. See, now I understand what you are saying. See, this file that we created here does not really, it shouldn't generate any conflict. What we are trying to do here is that it can be about us, but the content that I want to publish is not about, it's about ad. That is why the name changed from about us that you used to know to ad. Okay? If I want
Like,
to, okay. Hello?
like you say with the reason you're doing, you want to explain iframe tag.
Yes.
Me that already has more than I already have about the HTML, service of HTML.
Good.
English, can't I use those ones too? I can't you use those ones to explain the iframe tag too?
Yes, you can use it, but do I have it here now? Adibine, even if I'm using that file in my other system where I have those pages you are talking about, I am still going to create ad. Please get me right. I am saying that I'm trying to conceptualize it. Nobody will ask you to display, to frame about us in another page, what the person want to achieve, even though you have the file. So probably as a student, you just want to look for a shortcut so that you will not bother redesigning this file. Is that the reason why you are suggesting that you want to just adopt the about us? No, even when I'm done with this, your assignment, even if you have index, you have about, you have service, you are still going to create the ad.html because we are talking about creating an advert. For example, now let me show you this. Let's say this is this is my index page now, right? And you want to learn, you want to implement iframe. That is, you want to clone about us content in your index page. What sense does it make? That is the point I am hitting. It doesn't make any sense. What are you trying to achieve? So that is the reason why I don't want to go that way. I'm trying to make it real. That, okay, let's assume that we have an advertisement what? Page where all the adverts we want to display anywhere within the website will be designed. Then in other places where we want them to show up, we use the iframe to incorporate them. So well, if it is just practice, maybe you just want to practice the iframe, you can use the about us. So let's just assume that it's just practice. You are not after, trying to make it real as it could be if you are given a job. I believe my explanation is clear to you now.
It's okay.
Okay. You said what?
It's okay.
You said it's not clear or it's okay?
It's okay. Okay.
Okay, all right. Now, we are still developing this. So what I've done is just to I was trying to explain why, because there are some contents or there are some techniques that I'm also teaching you afresh, which I did not use in those files, and which is how you can use parent elements to select child elements. Okay? Now, if you look at our structure here now, before I go to the CSS, the structure here is that the div is a container holding two child elements. Now, I have image, but it is outside the div. Now, if I go to my CSS, but I wanted to link my CSS since we are working with external CSS. So if I reference the CSS file, which is the CSS folder, and then call the CSS file. Then if I go to the CSS file now, and I select dot img underscore container underscore container, and I open my declaration block. If I say width, now this is what I am trying to explain. You see, if I say background color, for example, let's say what? This color. So if I go back to the front end, you see that what the whole of the div is what you have given what? The background color. But you know what? What I actually want to talk to is not the div, is the two pictures inside it, in a way that whatever property I am going to assign to these two pictures in the div will not affect this one, despite that they have the same name. So now what I will do is that I will space here. I will simply just do what? img. So this is the CSS combinator that we're talking about. Now, what you are doing here is that the background color, in this case now, I don't want to use that. Let me go for width. I want the two pictures in that div to have the same width. So let's say 500 ps as the width, and then the height should be the same, 500 ps. Now, if I ask you now, between the class elements with the name img underscore container and the image, which one do you think you are waiting? Which one do you think you are waiting? Let me know if you understand the combination method.
Which one and what?
Which one are you waiting? Which one are you applying this width and height to? Between this, remember that this one represents the div with the class name img underscore container, while this one represents what? The images, any picture you have inside the container. So I'm asking, which of them are we actually applying this width and the height to?
The img.
The img. So why did you have to call this? Why did you have to call this? Why not you just call img?
Because that's the class.
Let's go back to the HTML, because that is exactly that is the message, the main reason why I am using this. Now look at the structure here. Sorry, here. We have how many images we have added here so far? 3, right? We have this, we have these two. But the difference between this and this is that these two images are inside a container called img underscore container. why this one is outside the container. And I am asking, why did we have to call this and then before calling this in our CSS, which of them? No, you have already identified the one we are talking to, but I am asking that why do we have to involve this instead of just this?
Because that's the class we are talking to it to.
No, the reason is that, remember the expression I gave you that if you go to my village and start calling Prosper, nobody will understand the Prosper. But if you go there and say Egwero Prosper, so which means that this is just like the Egwero as my surname, which you are using to fetch me, to locate me. Now, the main reason why I did not just type IMG, it is because in my HTML file, these images should not be spoken to. This one, whatever that width and the height is not meant to affect, or they are not meant to affect this particular one. They are only meant to affect this. That is why I reference the name of the parent so that the program will understand, oh, the pictures, the IMG inside this parent element called IMG underscore container, they are actually the ones I'm talking to. So that is the essence. Is that clear now?
Mm.
Now, if it's not clear, this is what I'm going to do. Let me remove this now. Look at what will happen. Let's say you call it like this, and then you go to the front end. You can see that how many images are affected here with the width and the height?
3.
3 of them, right? Now, meanwhile, we don't want this one to be width or height. We only want this and this. So what I will do now is that to differentiate them, what I'm trying to avoid is that I don't want to use their class name. I don't want to use the class to call them. I'm using the parent. So what I'm doing here is that, okay, let me just add dot img underscore container. So if I go back to the front end now and check, how many of them are affected?
2.
Good. So the entire concept I'm teaching you right now is that how do you use parents element to select child element? That is the message. Now, if you understand this method as a programmer, it saves you from classing. It reduces the number of items you class. Because if I have not used this method now, I will have classed these two images, the same name, then I will use the name to talk to them, which is another method. But in this case now, I simply use the parent to select them. So that because I'm trying to dodge this particular one, I don't want it to affect any other images that are not inside the div. That is the interpretation of that language. Okay, so now the next thing,
But sir,
okay, go ahead.
don't worry. Don't worry.
Is it clear now?
Mm.
Okay, now feel free to ask your question. Now, like I said, the next we want to do is that I still feel that this is not good enough. It's as if the heights based on the original size of the image, we are overstretched. We have overstretched this image. So anytime you are widthing or heightening your images, you need to consider a proportion that will still give you the what? The best display. Okay, so if the image look like a rectangular image, then you need to be careful the way you stretch it along the vertical and the what? The horizontal. So based on this, I feel this is not going to give us a good user experience. So instead of me widthing them the same size, I will reduce the height to like 400 and then go back and check. Good. So you can see that I have a better display. But the next thing I want to do is that these two pictures, I want to centralize them. I want to place them at the center of the whole of the page. The space I have here is not equal with the space I have here. This is an advert that I'm creating. So I want it to look, good to my users. Okay, so since they are in one container, to push them to the center, there is no need for me to start saying image 1, margin left, image 2, margin left, trying to push it to the center. I'm not going to do that because the structure I have defined in my HTML will actually help me to move both of them without having to talk to both of them individually. So, but in the first place, I need to ensure that the container, the div that is holding the two pictures, is not having 100% width. How do I know that it's having 100% width? So if I come here now and say, okay, now I want to talk to only the container. Now I want to, let me use this, talking to only the div container. So what I'm going to do, I will just call each class img underscore. I'm not going to say image because it's the element, the parent element I'm talking to direct. So if I just want to, I just want to find out whether it is a block element or an inline element. Remember what I have told us before, that block elements, irrespective of where they are written, will always take the full width, one, and they will take new line. They will always take fresh line. They will never continue from where the previous element stop. So I want to know whether, and when they are declared, by default, they are already what? 100% width. Now, I cannot use it because I'm talking about pushing the container now. Let me activate the border so that we can be seeing it properly. Let me just add border. Let me just give it a line thickness of 1 ps and then say that it should give me a solid color and then give it red outline. So if I come back here now, you can see this line. This is exactly what I'm saying. So you can truly see that what the two pictures are wrapped in the container. But now we want to use this container to push both of them to the center of the page. What I am saying is that this is a block element because it has taken the full width. Now, this is just like a wall. If you push from here, it's not going to move because there's no space for it to move. So the first thing I will do is to reduce it, is to stop it from taking the 100% by saying in the selector where I am talking to only the container, I'll say width. Width, use 70, in fact, use 80%. Don't use what? 100%. So if I go back to the front end, you can see that what? I have been able to what? To reduce it. Now, if I push it, it will move because there is a space. So what I will simply do is to say margin, and say what? Auto. There is a CSS property which is called float, which is actually used to move elements from left or to the right. But the challenge we have with this float property is that it only has left and right value. It does not have center. Meanwhile, the task is for us to put those items, the two pictures, at the center of the page. So if I choose this, it's already at the left-hand side. So let's say I choose this and I go back to the front end, you see that what? It has pushed everything to the right-hand side. But I needed a property that can push them to the center. So that is the reason why I'm not going to use float. So I will use another technique, which is called what? The margin concept. So the margin concept, in as much that element is a block element, an element that takes 100% width and that does not accommodate another element on the same line, then you can just what? And is a container element. Then if you call margin auto, the program understands that what you are saying, that all the items inside the container should move to the center. Exactly. So I'm going to, did you understand the concept?
So can you go back to your
Okay, the code. here or the HTML side?
No, yes, okay.
Okay. So now remember that I only activated this borderline so that we can monitor the adjustments and the movement of the div as a container. So for me to have a good user interface, I don't need it because it's like distracting and it makes your work look like a learner. So you just disable it for now in case you want to bring it back. So I have it like this. So I've achieved my aim. So now this particular picture, I don't need it. I was only using it to explain how you can use parent element to call the child element. Now, the advert, remember I said these two pictures are like the product image. So I want to say something about them. I want to describe them so that our customers can find reason to purchase them. So I'm going back to the website and just say something. Let's say I have not been given the write-up. So I will just say, okay, what is computer? Okay, let's say what is electronic devices? Just to have content that I want to create under the pictures. So I will right click on it as usual, take it, then use p tag to output or to display the content. So if I go back to the front end now, I should be able to what? To see the content. So now let's assume that this is, but I still want to enhance this a little. So let me class it because I may have other p tag as I continue with my development. So I shouldn't conclude that this is the only p tag. That is why I am classing this. I'll say p1 and then go to my CSS and then quickly indicate styling the p tag with the class name p1. So what I will simply do here is to say dot because it's a class element p1 and then open. Now, what do I want? I want to quickly change the font size of it to an average mobile view text size, which is between 18, 19, 20. So let me check what this produced. Okay, so it's looking more presentable or user friendly. But there's another challenge I have. The challenge is that this is too, close to the edge. So there's no looking room that you are giving the visitor. So in other words, you are going to be stressing them to see the beginning of this write-up. So I just want to shift it inside. So remember that is going to be, now suggest the property for me. I know we have used it. What do you think, which of the CSS property will help us to shift this inside a little?
The text, imagine bottom top,
Margin left, right?
left
Remember
and
that
right.
we are pushing from only one side, right? Which is the left-hand side. So it's going to be what? Margin what?
Margin left.
Going to be margin left. Good. Now, let me quickly say margin left. And then I'll push it by 20 PS and check the space that will have created. Good. So we have it at least. So if you still not want to like, okay, you want to bring it to, maybe you want it to maintain the alignment of this picture, all you need to do is to just, like I told you before, because this is a container, this is a block element. So it's either you reduce the width from 100% and do that same what, auto, margin auto, or you keep increasing this. Let me increase it to 40 and see what is going to happen. You can see it. So I have more space. I think this is better. Okay. So now let's assume that we have already prepared the contents we want to clone with the iframe. So let's go to the iframe application now properly. Iframe application. I think I have given us the the definition, right? I have defined what an iframe tag is. So how do we use it now? So let's quickly talk about some of the key features of the iframe as reason why you should use it. Number one key feature of the iframe is content embedding. Content embedding. Are you with me?
No, wait, sorry, excuse me, sir. So
Okay.
what have we been doing since? It's not iFrame.
No, we are just preparing what the content we want to clone, embed with the iframe. Now you are getting me. You see, that was the reason why you were asking the other time, why are we going there? What we are doing, even before this class, we have already prepared this page now. There's no point of going through this. We will have just continued from what? Or with the iframe. Now I understand
But I already have pages on my laptop.
we already have what?
I already have HTML pages on my laptop.
Good. So you can use any of them to practice if at the end of the day, I did not mandate you that it must be add page. Did you understand it now? If it's just to practice it, you don't need to do all these things that we did. Why I did this, like I said, is to teach you these concepts. So in your own case, if you don't want to go through creating this so that you can replicate all the skills that I've displayed here, you can go ahead and say, okay, in your index file, you want to clone your about us using the iframe. It's still okay, but provided you know the reason, the essence of the command, the tag. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, like I said, some of the key features of the iframe is content embedding. Content embedding. In other words, iframe enable you to embed content from other sources, which we have already highlighted in the definition. Another key feature of the iframe is flexibility. Flexibility, which means that iframe provides flexibility in terms of layout and design, allowing you to integrate external content seamlessly. That is one of the features of iframe. The next one is reusability. Reusability. That is the reason why I'm doing this. You can see that what this particular code and the content that we have written now. Ordinarily, if a client say that this advert should be repeated in your index file, in your home page, and then should also be repeated in your service page, because he or she must have projected that these are the possible pages the visitor will always access. So therefore, he want to take advantage of accessing those pages to quickly chip in the adverts. So which means that you are supposed to go to service page and go and write the whole of this code. Then you go to the about us page and go and write the whole of this code. But what we have done now is that we are going to reuse this whole file in here without us what? Rewriting it. That is the meaning of what? Reusability. iframe can be reused across multiple web pages. For example, now, I want to use the whole of this here with the iframe. So now, let's quickly look at the task. What is the task given to you and I as a developer or as developers? The task is as a web developer, integrate the content. I'm trying to make it real. The content of add.html in the index. Remember that your index also represents your home page, which is the landing page. So this is a task. So how do we address this kind of task? I'm asking you, look at the task before us. How do you think we are going to achieve it?
By copying
by copying. So we just come here and copy all this, right? That's what you are saying. We come here and copy,
it.
right? Copy all this, right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that is an option, but that is not what we want to do. We have considered that option as wasting of time and amateur. So professionally, you should know that iframe can do it. So the solution is solution. Solution is use iframe. Use iframe tag to clone the content. So let me just, luckily this is the index page that they want us to clone the content of what add.html in. So I'll simply say iframe, this is a tag, is a media tag, don't forget. And then this is how it opens. The URL, the location where that file you want to embed in this particular HTML document is what you have to specify here. So you simply type add here. So which means that what all the content you have created in this file, they are the content that this iframe tag is going to what frame in this particular page. So now if I go back to the front end now and view the index file and see whether we have the contents of that frame. So you can see it. You can see that I've not created anything inside the index file. So the only thing I have, let's say, okay, let's say I've added some content. Let's just say we have this, and let me just display lorem just to create random tests. Lorem, give me 400 words. Now let's go back to the front end. You see that what immediately after that content, you have the advert. So whenever a user visits this page now, this is just like an advert that they can see. So they can check if both the vertical has this and what the horizontal has it. That's why it's called iframe. So this is a frame. So what I have simply done is that I have embedded a different document in another document. So that is the meaning of this definition that says iframe tag, it is used to embed another HTML document within a web page. Is that clear?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm going to pause for 10 to 15 minutes. So what you are going to do for me, because of time, use clone. Okay, write down your task. Your classwork is, just take it down now. Your classwork is, so assume you have about us page, you have index page, you have service page, as the case might be. So your classwork is embed the about us page document in the index page document. Did you get that?
Oh,
Okay. So you can share your screen 10 minutes before. When I come back, I will now teach us how to clone the YouTube video directly in your document. So that will now be how to embed external document. What we have done now is how to embed internal documents. So you can start now. Alpha, are you still on it? Hello, are you still here? Hello. Okay, so where is it? Where is the Iframe? Okay. Just scroll up. Let me just see it. Scroll on both axes, both vertical and horizontal. Let me see it. Okay, good. So you can see that the whole of that page, you have automatically what? Clone it. You have embedded it. Okay, so I believe it's clear. Can we proceed now? Okay, good. So let's quickly look at, let us conclude with the other concepts. So which is how to embed external contents in the web page using iframe tag. So what is the task? The task is like I've already mentioned before. So let's assume that you have a YouTube page and maybe the company that is out, the user, or let's say the customer that is asking you to do this, they have uploaded the adverts to their YouTube page and they want you to integrate it in their website so that visitors does not have to visit their YouTube page before they can access it. They might consider YouTube as probably data what draining sites. So they prefer watching the video from your website. So what is the task? Let's make it real. I like making them real, as if you are being tasked to do it so that you really know that this thing is applicable. So the task is embed our YouTube video in the homepage. In the homepage. So now the first thing I'm going to do, in case you are writing your steps, the first step is for you to go to the YouTube page. So let me quickly go to YouTube and get the video iframe content or code. So, so this is, for example, this is my YouTube page where you can actually watch almost all the classes. Now, I'm going to video section. So let's assume that this particular video is the one I want to embed in the homepage. So I'll click on it as if I want to watch that video so that I can access this share button. So once I click on the share button, hope you are with me. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once I click on the share button, what you get is the embed. So once you click on this embed, you will see this is the iframe we're talking about. So you can see that even YouTube, they frame my video in my account. So what I will simply do is to copy the whole of the code and then go back to my web page where I am asked to embed it and paste. So you can see that it came with other attributes. They define the frame width, the frame height, which you can as well add to your own. If you want, you can come here and say what? The iframe width should be how big you want it. Let's say 500. If you want to also add the height, you also have the privilege of doing that. You can say 500 ps. And then if you check, there are other attributes based on autoplay. You can see that they added autoplay, encrypted media. So all these are different attributes that they configure in order for the video to be secure. Okay? Now, if I go to the front end now to see if I've successfully cloned the video, you can see. So this is not like you adding a link that will take the person to the website, sorry, to the YouTube page. From here, if I click here, you can see that what I am watching the YouTube video directly from this website. So why do I have to show us this? It's very important. If you are building a website for an artist, you cannot overload the hosting server, the space you purchase to publish that person's content in the server you use. Because when you are hosting, when we get to hosting, you understand that when you are hosting a website, you are going to buy the address and you're also paying for the file space, the space your file will be uploaded into. And if, for example, you purchase 6 gig and the video, the movie artist keep releasing, video on a daily basis, and you now use video tag that you have learned to, add them to the website, you will end up loading the space you purchased. Instead, what should be done professionally is for you to create a YouTube page for that music artist where he can upload all his video. So all you need to do is to use the iframe to clone each and every one of them, or to clone each and every one of those videos in the website. So which means that the website is not storing the video. The videos are stored in the YouTube page. Did you understand what I just explained now?
Yes.
Good. So now, the topic I wanted to teach us today, before I remember that we have not covered this iframe, is HTML listing. So I'll take care of that tomorrow because it's a topic that will take time. I don't want to start it and then I'm not able to finish it. So we are going to look at, so we are advancing gradually. We are advancing, but for the fact that you have been practicing the simple ones, even as we are going advanced, you still be able to what? To follow. So tomorrow, by the grace of God, we'll be looking at HTML listing tags. But if you have any question from what we have done so far, you are free to ask before we bring the session to an end. Do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay, so your classwork, sorry, your assignment. Do you have a YouTube page?
No.
Okay, now this is what you are going to do. Let me share the URL of this page with you. Then go there and I frame not less than 5 videos. Not less than 5 videos. So just search for, look at the URL, Digitech Academy on YouTube. Once you search for Digitech Academy, or you just search for Digitech Z Hub, or just search for this, it will take you to my YouTube page. So from there, I want you to use the iframe to clone not less than 5 videos. That is your assignment. Is that taken? Okay, so see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, in case you come across this video and you are wondering who are the professional offering this training, we are known as Digital Z Hub. Digital Z Hub is an online training platform that focuses only on IT training. We train on cyber security, we train on web development, we train on video editing, we train on data analytics, machine learning, graphic design pro, UI, UX designing, and so many. AutoCAD for engineering students, 650 for accounting students. So we have a lot of programs you can learn from us. So in case you want to reach out to me personally, to book me to train you on any of these programs, even beyond these ones that I mentioned, you want to learn cybersecurity, you want to learn data analytics, you want to learn machine learning, graphic design, digital marketing, feel free to reach out to me direct on just WhatsApp me on 070. Okay, let me make it Nigerian number +2347069665919. That is my direct WhatsApp number. WhatsApp me now so that we can start the discussion. Our trainings are offered via live Zoom, just like this one. This is a live class, as you can see. So this is more or less of one-on-one. This is not just recorded video. So you have an opportunity to ask questions. Our trainings are flexible. Our curriculum are international standards. So, and we have the experience. I have been tutoring for not less than 19 years across different computer programs. So I think having me as your facilitator, your instructor, I don't think is going to be too bad, because at the end of the day, you are not just going to learn the program, you will also be learning my experience. So I'm expecting you slide to my team, like I said, on 07069665919. Now, this platform is also online via website. You can access us via website at www.digitechz.com.ng. You can also locate us on YouTube. Locate us and subscribe, because each time I finish the training, upload the video, subscribe so that you can get subsequent updates. Just search for Digitech Z Hub. Just search for Digitech Z Hub. You will get the YouTube page. We're also on Facebook. Also search for Digitech Z Hub. You will also reach out to us. See you next time. Thank you for watching.